What's up, everybody? Back again, Warp Charge Gaming. I'm George, and I'm here with Chris and James, and it's episode 98. Damn near 100. Yeah, we're moving along, dude. That means that we're almost at 2 years, right? Like 100.
54 weeks a year, so 108 is
52 weeks. 52 weeks, yeah. 104. So we're almost there. I remember being excited for episode 50, but it was like episode 52 was the year and all that. So I'm excited. Things are moving right along. I'm just proud that we're here again on another Thursday night. And I'm happy to be hanging out with you gentlemen. I can't wait for some friends to show up. Chris and I played a game today, James, and there was a lot of folks that said they wanted to come in and hang out with us tonight. I hope they show up.
Sweet, that's cool.
For sure.
Yeah. So
how'd the game go? Or
it
was it a secret?
It was a good time. It was a good time. There's old Ross Harvey out there. I don't recall seeing that name. New follower. Thank you, Ross. Yeah, Chris and I were playing. It was a great time. Chris and I have been getting a lot of games in lately.
Damn right. George has been kicking me around like a redheaded stepchild. It has been dark.
I haven't got to play Chris in a while, and I was tooting a horn, James, that Infinity made me a little bit better player. I hope that came across on the table, or I just got really lucky, and Chris rolled bad, I rolled great.
Yeah, two of our games, we've had 4 games so far. You've won all 4.
Luck, it's a fluke. It's a fluke.
My opinion is 2 of the games I played horribly, and you capitalized on my mistakes beautifully. You did a great job, and I played crap.
Thank you.
The other 2 games, honestly, like, I can't say that I have super feel bad, like, oh, my dice were just super sour the whole game. Like,
sure.
No, that's some sucker shit.
Well, it wasn't really on bad plays on your end either. And there's a little bit of math hammer just involved, like, and the same token, but one thing that I'm proud of that I think James can get behind is I'm not bringing any guns, James.
That's awesome.
In my list, besides Chaos today, I brought Obliterators. So, I mean, hey, I can't talk too much there. I did bring Obliterators.
To be fair, they didn't do very much.
They didn't do very much. I mean, honestly, so in today's game, James, so Chris's fluctuation, and just because we're getting right into it, there's a lot I'm excited to talk about the games that Chris and I have had. I'm excited to talk about Tabletop Simulator. But just to give a quick shout out before we go that far, is guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, we talk about tabletop wargaming on this channel, and we like Games Workshop games. Okay, Warp Charge Gaming's been around for this is almost 2 years worth of live talk shows. We got over 500 videos. People are catching us right now for the first time, gentlemen, and they're seeing us playing Tabletop Simulator, and it kind of makes me feel weird because I'm like, no, this is not what we do. This is just what we're doing. We have filmed hundreds of episodes with lots of cameras and models, and go watch that shit. But I'm excited. The cool thing is, even in this virtual realm, I think we're having some great games on camera.
Nice.
You know? Like, I mean, a lot of these virtual games have been extremely exciting and very close. Speaking of which, I've been filming these, we mentioned it last week, but we're 2 weeks in round 2 on this Command Point tournament. Command Point is this new up-and-coming channel. Got their logo right here. Some awesome cats from Rochester, New York area that threw a 32-man global virtual tournament inside of Tabletop Simulator. That's what spawned my interest to get back into Tabletop Simulator after our foray from a couple years ago. They asked us to host it and do some streams. I just streamed yesterday Yulia and Emmanuel. Emmanuel, actually, funny enough, was American, and Yulia was South America. And Yulia was playing the Thousand Suns, and she was an awesome player and super funny. And it was super cool just to see how, like, with tokens and just the knowledge of the game, the language barrier, how it could be crossed by 2 players. And so far, all the games that we've filmed of, this is the first time, and this is interesting, you might enjoy this, James, is that I had a cool comment when I filmed yesterday, is that Big Cleat had jumped on and said that he really enjoyed watching when I was I was shoutcasting. I have the players where I'm muting the players out and I'm talking without them hearing me about what I think should happen or what could happen, and like kind of breaking down my perspective, and then I bring them back in and you hear them and watch them play and we see how it kind of plays out,
Sweet.
And it's reminiscent, Big Cleat had said, to the Nova videos that we had done where I had edited them really tightly and basically narrated everything that happened. It's a lot like that, where I'm doing a ton of like narration of tactics as we watch other people play these games. So I've been really enjoying it. It's been cool to kind of lay out my perspective and get to have it see it come to how it plays out inside the game. It's been cool. It's been cool. So I'm excited. These games have been great, but that game was awesome. It was hilarious. The games that I've played myself inside the tournament have been super close. There've been some crazy moments caught on camera where it's like those kind of shit that should never happen, where they roll. There's been some funny. There's in the Command Point Discord, the tournament Discord. There's a salt channel that was made. And that is my favorite Discord channel, is that everybody always runs there right after their game and just like bitches about the tabletop simulator but dice roller. They're like swearing that it's like, and like Chris and I were playing today, and I actually fished for a 6 on a Command Point reroll just cause.
He did, like a big dick bandit, and he you know what, he didn't get it, but
No, but there was another moment where I did get something, and it was I needed a 1. I needed a 1 or a 2 on a leadership, or I was going to lose my 1 obliterator today, and I decided to flip. I decided to do a Command Point reroll for a 1 or a 2, and I took this. I picked up the 6 that I'd rolled the 6, and I rolled that one on purpose, thinking it would manifest to a 1. Because it's like weird like that, where like it seems like in that TTS dice roller, if you roll and get a bunch of misses, if you re-roll it, all of a sudden you get a bunch of hits. It like has interesting feelings and characteristics, just like real life does. That superstition gets in there. Apparently it's totally statistical, but it's been funny. But a lot of good games have been happening. Chris and I had a great time today. And it has been fun to run the new Space Wolves. That was extremely motivating to want to play Chris.
They're saucy, man. I like them, honestly.
Ooh. James, did you get a chance to catch any of those games at all?
None of the tabletop simulator games, no.
Okay, you should check them out, man. They're fast and furious too. I mean, like at least today, Chris and I played a very long one. Our game went like over 4 hours today.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we were slow today, but.
Yeah, but it was a good game. It was crunchy. There was a lot happening. I mean, we were doing a lot of micro movements. There's these cool cheat stick widgets that we have nowadays, James, where it's like imagine a ruler that you could just touch and imagine it to be any size you want whenever you need it to be, and you could duplicate it as many times as you want. So you're like, okay, I need a 3-inch widget right now. I need 6 of these 3-inch widgets. There they all are. I need 1-inch widgets. So like when we're trying to like maneuver around something in there and you have to stay outside of an inch so you don't move within an inch when you're charging, or you got to check out the heroic interventions and shit like that, you're able to just drop widgets all over the place and very quickly manifest their exact lengths. And it's pretty cool. Especially like trying to screen out the enemy, making those 9-inch drops, or where you're able to drop deep strike in, you can very quickly get a lot of that. So you get some. There's really, I find it really interesting the things that you get tighter on. There's certain things you actually can improve upon in ways you wouldn't normally be able to using Tabletop Simulator as a tool.
Definitely.
Particularly, just right out the gates, the ability to use a whole bunch of different models that you may not own. That alone.
That's actually something I was talking about in the 40K chat today. Like, there's a really popular Gene Stealer cult build right now where they're running a bunch of these transports and vehicles. And I'll be honest, I'm not the keenest on those models. Like, I don't want to spend, like $45 per tank for like 9 tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the kind of thing that I would consider playing in Tabletop Simulator just to kind of like feel it out and see if it's something that I'd have any fun playing. But like, I don't know. It's like not why I like that army. Like, I feel like if I was going to do like a vehicle parking lot, I would pick a different army.
Yeah. I've found it to be very natural. It's been super cool, man. Good times. Yeah, we were joking about running the trash meta. I know, like, I've always wanted to laugh and joke at running like 300 Nurgling bases, but I'm never going to buy or use 300 Nurgling bases,
You could do it, though. You definitely could do it. And I think, even we both joked, made the comment, something like with all these 9-inch cheat sticks, like during deployment, it's almost like Connor's wet dream or whatever. And it's like, just because like for any of the players that like go through all of like the tedium, like without trusting necessarily their instinct and like going through all the rigor of like checking every little micro movement and whatnot.
Yep.
It's all the widgets and the tools. I mean, it really is playing 40K feasibly on another level if you're willing to give it the time. I mean, I guess that's true of real life as well, but like unlike needing to mark a dice, it's just like, oh, copy paste, 9-inch cheat stick, 9-inch cheat stick, 9-inch cheat stick.
Yeah, like there's a you're allowed to pre-measure to your heart's content in 40K. There's just the pressure of the clock. Well, one thing that can make that pre-measuring a lot easier, for instance, is being able to copy and paste a model. Its base
Yeah.
size. Like, can I see? Do you think you could see my wings from behind this ruin? Well, you don't want to like pick up your model and potentially move its, get it, mess up its actual perfect movement.
Yeah.
But now you can just copy and paste that model behind the ruin and see him over there or whatever.
It's interesting. This is the tricks that I use for my own like playing real life 40K. Is I have 3 9-inch cheat sticks that like let me figure out deep striking because you need different points.
Yep.
And for dead models, like when I have a bunch of dead berserkers or something, I'll use them for my pile and consolidate to figure out where my position is without moving my original models.
That's
Absolutely.
fair.
Yeah. No, I love widgets, dude. I'm addicted to them, and I actually like freak out when I don't have them. As far as in real life, after every game, you know how you like check your wallet and your phone and your keys before you go. Like I'm always where's my these particular widgets. I'm addicted to the 3-inch, 1-inch, 2-inch widgets as well. Because I think it makes you a tighter player, and it really speeds up the game too, and it lets you non-verbally communicate your intention.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I like my 9-inch like little things because they have the 3-inch, the 6-inch, and the 2-inch and 1-inch on them.
Yup. No, I love that stuff. No, but it's been great, James. And because you haven't seen the TTS, I feel inclined to tell you about the Space Wolf sauce, but I don't want to bore Chris with it because he's seen it so many times and I've talked so much about
Listen,
it.
man,
It's so cool.
It's solid, and honestly, like it does do my heart good that you're actually playing the army without just having them like walk into like a murder field.
Yeah, with no
dude,
guns.
Hey, that's what's happening to me. I'm on a 3-game losing streak. I played Iron Hands over the weekend, and yeah, I just get shot to death before I ever get to anything.
And see, I think that's kind of like what happened in our games, Chris. Like there was the games where things kind of, you made some mistakes and things went bad. But in the end of like the other games we played, and especially the one today with Chaos, like they were even matches that could have gone either way, and it's kind of how the dice went. But there's there's a certain amount of weight of power of that power creep though at the same time, If you don't if you don't have the same amount of kind of saucy tricks or something, there starts to be a threshold that gets crossed. Like with Iron Hands versus say straight corn, there's a big disparity there, obviously.
Oh, dude, it was bad, but I still managed to get like 17 points or something.
Mm-hmm.
It looked over when like just turn 1.
Yeah.
Like turn 1, it looked so bad that all of our buddies that were watching the game were just like, dude, you should just give up. Like, let me play.
That's the kind
and like
of,
I was like, son of a bitch. Like I know in like our last game I did concede, but like because I didn't have positioning. At least in this game I have positioning. So like I'm gonna continue playing, getting points, but fucking asshole. Like man.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was gonna say that as a corn player, like that's pretty much the game. That's the play. And I say this because I know as a Space Wolf player before Psychic Awakening that you pretty much have to play the game of, well, I'm gonna see how many points I can get and see if I can at least scare my opponent. Like you feel like good game if your opponent like kind of was worried for a second.
Oh, dude, absolutely, because like it got to the point where, granted, I was like tabled in turn 4, but I had positioning with 2 characters and a single Berserker champion with Power Fist, and I managed to wipe out 3 different units with those 3 dudes making their charges.
Yeah, no, that's dope.
So it's like where most people would give up having single models like walking across the board, still getting shot at. When they get there, they just rip things apart. So it's just still like that small victories.
So you just reminded me of what I was going to mention. Aaron Zed Lane wanted to say, he's like, give me that word on those wolves. I totally want to. I'm totally going to. The thing that was cool that kind of played out today was after 3 games with Chris with the Space Wolves, he had made an edit to the list for today that incorporated a little bit of Gene Stealer tech to be able to have the Gene Stealer kind of vect.
Yes, I'd already had some Gene Stealer cult stuff, but honestly, it was more something that I liked, and honestly, I think it was poorly planned on my part.
Well, still, it was interesting, and that was like today. It was cool to see that Chris used it on my conceal for my obliterator. So like what had happened, James, is that Chris got to go first, so he was the attacker, and I chose to put my possessed and the obliterators on the field, and then I forward operatives the possessed into the ruin corner to where you wouldn't be able to see them at all that turn, but I didn't forward operate them beyond. I made sure that they were, no matter what, 0.1 inches beyond the threat range of his Hive Guard to where they would have to be -1 for me being Alpha Legion. And then I used my Dark Apostle from Alpha Legion to do the Benediction of Darkness and put an additional -1, at least attempted to, on the possessed. So I was like, cool. Forward operatives into this ruin where nobody can see me and only the Hive Guard can target me, force them to be a -1 modifier for the Alpha Legion, put an additional -1 on them with the Benediction of Darkness, and then do the conceal on the obliterators, so that I force the targets to be the nearest as the possessed that he can't even see, and then force the only things that can shoot them to be -2. And it was a sweet setup, but I failed the...
You said Chris went first, right?
Right. So I failed the Benediction of Darkness at the start of the battle round, and then when at the start of his shooting phase, when I rocked the Conceal, he canceled it with Vect. So that was saucy. And what was cool is to experience how all the threat saturation in the list, when you have 3 Discos, 2 Mauler Fiends, Celeste, Contorted Epitome, Possessed, and Obliterators, everything hurts. And
very aggro list,
right? So Chris had to deal with those problems, but it still left the other problems, and it was cool to kind of see how it played out. I did get to do a sweet jump over a building with my Mind Veil Disco. Something we talked about in the past. I love putting the I like the We Are Alfurious single Alpha Legion Disco, where you give him the -1 to hit default in combat and in shooting. So now he's -2 beyond 12. You can give him -3 with the Benediction of Darkness. But particularly, even though it's wacky and wonky, today it actually had a little bit of positive effect. I took the Mind Veil. I was getting below average movements, generally, because 3d6 when he normally has a 12-inch move. But eventually, on the very last moment where I didn't advance a charge, I roll 3d6 and get a 14. I get more than my average move, get to fly over the L in the middle and go wreck an objective that he was hiding behind that otherwise no way would have been within range or able for me to access. So within that turn anyway. So that was super cool. But anyway, it's a cool game, lots of cool mechanics that you can get to see, and there's definitely nothing lacking as far as the value of the substance of the content inside a Tabletop Simulator, and if anything, some fun quirks that make it entertaining to watch. All right. I'm going to talk really fast like I have been, because I drank 2 cups of coffee, guys, just for the show. Right? Yeah, 8 o'clock I started off, and I'm almost halfway down on this other one here. That's for you guys. That's all love. You ready? Here's some Space Wolves. Here we go. Now, yeah. All right, cool. Let me show you. Ha-ha. Okay. All right. So there's some Space Wolves on the screen, right? Excellent. This is my Space Wolf list that I played with Chris. There was actually one other variation I'm going to talk about in a second. And James, this is for you to appreciate as a close combat guy. What's awesome is that in these bat reps that you can watch Chris and I play, is that I am using, the whole concept of this list is to use the models that I love and know the most, but get to use as many new rules as possible. Right? I've always loved Thunderbolt Cav. I want them to slap. Hey, we got some stratagems to do that. Let's see if they do. I love Woofing. Let's make them slap. I love the new drop pod rule. Let's use the blood claws. We need CP to make all these things happen, so let's take double units of blood claws. That's kind of why they're there. Turns out the deep striking blood claws in these drop pods are actually really damn good, and it was way better than I expected. But let me I'm going to hide that for a second. I want to show friends at home, and this is something I
lone wolf.
I didn't lone wolf as much as I should. I think I definitely thought about it. I did lone wolf in one of our games, didn't I, Chris?
You did it once, but like you literally did it like it wasn't your optimal thing to do.
It was just for fun, yeah.
I could do it at this point.
Yeah, Aaron says, love the Cav. So to really enhance this conversation, I'm going to go beyond. I want to show you guys my spreadsheet, okay? So I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet right next to this image just to show you the kind of the effort that I put in to come to terms with my thoughts kind of deal. All right, Space Wolves, cool. Put this over here, shrink this up a little bit. We're doing things. Okay, probably can't even see that too hot. All right, the word is that the new strats is that you can stack so much shit on these Thunderwolf Cav now. So the biggest thing that this list is operating with that I did not have before, that I saw how it changed the game so much for the Space Wolves, is the litanies. I absolutely am blown away by what can happen when you have +2 to your charge litany. What's craziest is that, so there's all these things that I'm taking now that I didn't used to do before. Before, I would take, if I took Thunderwolf Cav, because I love Thunderwolf Cav, on every pack leader I would take a Thunderwolf, a hammer and shield. Now I take shields on everybody, but I'm only taking wolf claws, and I'm taking max units of 6. This is totally different than before. And this is because of the ability of mortal wound outputs that they can put down. So we have ways to help these guys stick on the board. For one of their weaknesses, we're paying all this hefty premium for 3-up invulns, but we suck against mortal wounds. So now with the litanies of faith of getting a 5+ feeling of pain against mortals, we have protection now against all these frontline smites and shit that are going to come hit us. And it really makes these guys stick around. Not to mention that the wolf priests that do the litanies, they have healing capabilities I still haven't even really used in my games yet, because the Thunderwolf Cav are literally coming in as cleanup crews because the blood claws are causing so much trouble. So we'll talk about more of that in a second, but let's talk about the things that make it really good. The fact that you can turn 1 deep strike with these blood claws and then give them a +2 charge and give them a 7-inch charge is absolutely dope. They get 1 attack base, 1 attack for berserking, 1 attack for shock assault, and another attack for a chainsword. If you can get woofing within 12 inches, that's 5 attacks per model. You're talking about 25 to 26, 26 attacks with a pack leader, from a 5-man squad. So I've been landing 2 5-man squads per drop pod in front of Chris. So I'll move up everybody and then put the drop pods in the optimum spot to block all the smites, use the drop pods with doors closed paired next to buildings to actually block even line of sight blocking charges, blocking, basically line of sight in all kinds of ways. Blocking characters out, and then making 7-inch charges that are re-rollable because of Ragnar. And it's super easy to get in there with all these modifications. Now you're only rocking chain swords with no AP, but one of the things I haven't got to utilize too much or see is now we have super doctrines. One, just Space Wolves have doctrines in general, which they didn't have before. So you have the Devastator doctrine for your grenades and heavy weapons on round 1. Then you move into the tactical doctrine, and then finally you can move into the assault doctrine for turn 3 and on. At that point, the typical Space Marine ability at assault doctrine is -1 AP to your close combat weapons and pistols. So now these bolt pistols and chainswords are -1 AP. But in the super doctrine for the savage doctrine for the Space Wolves is that we also get exploding 6s to hit. So now we're taking those 20-25 attacks coming out of this thing on a 7-inch charge and getting exploding 6s that have -1 AP on turn 3 and on. So that's pretty nasty. I haven't even got to see that matter. I've been using the drop pod. I've been using them like Zangors, dude. It comes in turn 1. And it's like having 2 Zangor bombs. Because, bring more drop pods, have 3 Zangor bombs. I definitely would not be opposed to a 3rd drop pod. You don't really need it. But that causes all the problems right out the gate. It does so much board control by putting pain in the ass drop pods sitting on objectives, or at least in the way of any sort of good lanes, so that they almost
Berserkers had access to something like that.
It's so crazy, dude. I know, I do too. All right, so we get this 5-up Film of Pain versus Mortals. The +2 to charge. What's nasty too, and unlike what you can do in Chaos, is that the Wolf Priests, the guys that do the prayers, they can take jump packs. Where I don't think they can take jump packs in Chaos. Right? Like our Dark Apostles can't take jump packs.
Absolutely not.
Right, exactly.
They can take a jump pack as a lord and a sorcerer.
Exactly. So here we are getting these litanies with jump packs, and then on top of that, so we got fly, we got 12-inch move, we can advance and still do these fucking auras. But then there's a warlord trait that I would never take before for Space Wolves that extends your aura ability by 3 inches. It never was as cool as some of the other things that you could do in the sagas that you could activate. But that 3-inch aura, it would never apply to your relic abilities like the Wolfenstone or like a psychic power. But because there's no FAQ yet, it doesn't say it doesn't affect the litany. So now you can have a 9-inch aura of the litany and have a +2 to charge litany that way. And what's nuts is that each Wolf Priest knows 3 litanies. It knows its base litany, which every one of them know, reroll hits in combat. But then it also knows I think it's Canticles of Hate. No, it's the one that's the +1 to wound versus vehicles and monsters. All Space Wolf Priest just get that by default for being battle forged. So at any point in time, you're like, cool, do I want to reroll hits? That's automatic choice I could take. Do I want to have +1 to wound for monsters and vehicles? I have that by default. And then you have the one you choose. And that's why I'm taking 2 Wolf Priests, 1 for the 5-up Feel No Pain. Yeah, Saga of Majesty, exactly, Aaron. And 1 for that's the +3 extension of the Warlord trait, or the Aura. And then the other one that I'm taking is the +2 to charge. So the chosen ones are 5+ Feel No Pain, +2 to charge. Those alone change the game, especially with the fucking priest. Not to mention that by taking jump packs, they can deep strike in for free if you want, which already you can outflank any infantry in your army for 1 CP and come in on the board edge. So now you can set up so you're not even on the board, and you could just have these wolf priests and set up in a tactical way where you're doing drop pods and outflanks, and everything's coming in with +2 charges. So now everything you drop in around this shit's 7-inch charge, and you have a 9-inch aura from this jump priest guy that could deep strike in. It's nasty.
This is upsetting to me.
Right, it's crazy. So that's nuts.
Definitely it slaps, man. I mean, like, I can tell you, like, having been on the receiving end, like, I mean, it's really difficult you can't really ignore 4 units dropping in your face with, +2 to charge. Because, I mean, statistically speaking, 3 of those 4 units should connect, give or take. There's about a 25% chance of failure there. So, like, you're going to deal with a lot of bodies, and because of the jump packs, you've got all your aura weaving in play. You're going to at least hit your screen.
What else is crazy too is that they're passing around 6-inch consolidates like candy. I have 2 different ways to do that. Ragnar gives it already with he's already giving it aura that's giving you reroll charges. Additionally, he's giving you a 6-inch consolidate. That's just built into the character. We already have a litany that gives us reroll charges and consolidate. So that's just ready to go as well. Ragnar is a beast on his own. And then the thing that gets nasty is that's just how you're getting your delivery. You don't even care about what those guys are doing. They are about 500. When you count the drop pods and double battalion, 6 units of 5 Marines, you're roughly in about that 450, 500 points, and it's completely dedicated to being the problem while your other 1,500 points come in and just wreck face. Yeah. And so here's this big problem. Here comes Thunderwolf Cav and Wolfen. What's crazy is you don't have to do Wolfen and Outflank anymore like you used to. It's like, how are you going to deliver them? Well, dude, transhuman physiology changes everything. All Chris had was guns that wound on 3s. I'm like, perfect. Let's pop this. Oh, you have fucking Hive Guard? Oh, guess what? They're strength 8. You can't turn that off. That means you wound on 2s. Well, they don't. They don't wound on 2s or 3s, actually.
That's actually specifically the example you listed is part of what prompted me to put the Agents of Vect in my list.
Yep.
I was like, literally, you would have nuked my weapons.
It is nasty. I mean, conceal is one thing, where you just can't target a unit if it's not closest. I almost would rather have transhuman physiology. It is so powerful. I mean, the conceal is super, super good, but dude, that is nasty. It really shuts things down, and then they don't die. And it's awesome. But even if they do take some wounds, you can go over there and heal those assholes now with your wolf priests that are flying around that you usually wouldn't have taken it before. Okay, finally, where it gets stupid, is the amount of... I feel like I'm playing Age of Sigmar with the way that my Thunderwolf Cav put out mortal wounds. It feels like I'm playing the Blood Crushers in Khorne, because you have impact damage on the charge. You have, and don't forget, we have 6-inch consolidate, so that means that if I can fucking impact damage something out of the way and kill it, here I come with a pile-in consolidate into a new target.
Heroic intervention.
We have, that's huge, Chris. The entire time Chris has to think about now, every player that goes against Space Wolves always has to be worried about, for 1 CP, anything in their army can heroic intervene into you at 6 inches. So if you get within 6 of my Thunderwolf Cav, you get in 6 with my Wolfen, you fail any of your charges, whatever, here I come, buddy. And it is such a gatekeeper of guarding your different areas now. You can be way more, because usually it's like the juicy target is next to the target that they don't want to fight, and there's always that like, okay, I'm going to make sure there's no way you can heroic me here. I only want to fight this guy. But it's so much easier to set up targets like Wolfen and Thunderwolf Cav now to be able to heroic in there. And to have a long, huge-based Thunderwolf Cav unit decide to heroic 6 inches, that could really start to bring a lot of shit into combat. Right?
Additionally, I know you touched on it a hair, but like with the aura weaving and the drop pods, like yes, there is like that distraction card effects element, but for all of your buff characters, some of which have 9-inch aura range, they hide perfectly fine behind the drop pod. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can
Not
hide
even
like
not even
stupid.
just like even if your opponent has snipers, like you can't physically see through a drop pod.
Yes. So James, I'm going up against zone thropes that have 3+ invulns a lot in these games, right? So they're these tanky 3-wound models, and I am choosing the weapon that's only 1 damage apiece. Where usually I'm rocking thunder hammers that would one-shot these guys off if they fail a save. Why is it better now? Well, one, for 1 CP, when we make a charge, which we have +2 to quite often, don't forget, that every model that's within an inch of my Thunderwolf cav within the enemy, I pop 1 CP, and on a 2+, I'm doing mortals. So I'm doing potentially 6 mortal wounds on the way in, and then pop a CP, and this is, you can just pop and pop, right? And you can even, there is 4 fucking stratagems to use on the Thunderwolf cav, and you can do 2 and 2 if you want on 2 different units. So you're like, cool, I'm gonna impact damage you, no problem, here's 6 mortal wounds on 2+. Okay, my favorite is I'm gonna use Vicious Executioners. And if you're fighting versus infantry models, then all your 6s to wound do mortals in addition to regular damage. So because these guys are like, if I'm going against anybody with a 3-up invuln like Death Guard or not Death Guard, but Death Watch, some Custode guys, infantry, whatever.
Shield.
Yeah, there's plenty of invuln walls. These zone thropes, for instance. Every 6 I roll is mortals, and guess what? All my wolf claws reroll a wound, by the way. Then there's Death Grip, so you pop another CP, and then all your teeth and claw attacks do 2 damage. So you're like, cool, I'm doing 6 mortal wounds on 2+ on the way in. Every 6 I roll is a mortal wound on top of regular damage, and I'm re-rolling all my wounds. I'm gonna have 3 to 4 attacks per rider, which is, you're talking 6 guys, fucking 24 attacks, whatever, that are all gonna be re-rolling to wound, AP -2, strength 5. And then on top of that, I'm going to have the 3 attacks per mount that's getting buffed by Canis's Teeth and Claw bonus, giving me 4 attacks per mount, 4 times 6, another 24. That's like 48 attacks coming out of these fucking Thunderwolf cav that are re-rolling wounds. 6ers are mortals on both the Teeth Claws and the Wolf Claws, and their 2 damage Teeth and Claw attacks after doing mortal wounds on the impact.
Super Doctrine.
Yeah, and then Super Doctrine on top of that with exploding 6s and minus fucking additional -1. Are you shitting me? That is absurd, and we did not have that before, and it kicks ass. What's up, Sheldon? So transhuman physiology, all of those buffs I just mentioned, particularly Vicious Executioners, is absolutely sexy. I love them. Now, and of course, we have to say, every time you kill a character for a 0 CP, you get a free command point. That just feels awesome. It's paired awesome with Here's another fun thing in the games, James, is that this new Space Wolves rules go great with ITC. We did Born for Greatness on Murder Fang, and we're having a great time. That usually I never choose that secondary option, but it's great for Murder Fang. Particularly, Space Wolves are benefiting from that Born for Greatness because one of the options is to heroic intervene, and they do it on a 6-inch as a natural Space Wolf ability.
Additionally, because you have the stratagem to deny a psychic power with a specific model, this character Dreadnought that normally cannot score that Born for Greatness point can now score that point if you are like, you can literally plan on like, oh, my opponent doesn't have any psychers, so I'm not going to spend the CP for it. Or pick the secondary. But like, if you have that option, it's almost like, well, I could just trade a CP for a victory point.
Oh man, if you like when you got 4 or 5, fucking psychers, absolutely, I'm gonna pop a CP and hope I can fish out a deny for a secondary point. It's awesome. Looks like the TARDIS. Looks like Sheldon. Nice. Okay, but dude, a 0 CP strat that gives you free command points when you kill characters. Okay, I'll take it. I love it. Right. That is pretty much the word, man. We got the Savage Fury Super Doctrines, we get Combat Doctrines, we get free CP, we get Mortal Wounds with Thunderwolf Cav now, we have Transhuman Physiology, we get +2 to our charges, we get 5-up Feel No Pains versus Mortals, we have turn 1 deep striking fucking drop pods, our Blood Claws get a ridiculous amount of attacks, Wolfen are amazing, and Death Frenzy's crazy. I'm not even talking about psychic powers, or I don't even bring psychics, but there's still good psychic abilities.
Yep.
We have -1 to hit capabilities. We have fight last. I got the armor of rust. I got the Wolfenstone for +1 attacks on top of armor of rust. There's just so much good shit. It's crazy.
Corn players should be jealous, James. Like if you're
Hey,
not,
I'm selling right now, but I basically don't say fuck off, just log out, fucking go downstairs and just fuck this game.
Yeah, you're
Because
upset
this is literally everything I've always wanted in an army, and it's not my army.
Yeah,
And
you're
it sucks.
upset, buddy. You're upset.
Yeah, I'm real upset, dude. To be honest, I'm like, it just threw me into a depression.
It's pretty bad, man. Here, I got an explosion for you, James. You probably, if you're not watching YouTube, you can't see it, but I just put an explosion on the screen for you, bud. It was good.
blah.
That was James's brain. Yeah, that felt good. That felt good. Thank you guys for letting me.
That was a good looking explosion. Did we get like a new graphic for that?
Yeah. I've done a little bit of updating. I'm glad you like that explosion, Chris. I've done a little updating, yeah.
No, but the Wolves, man, as an army that can play very well to like, I mean, George has been, giving me a hard time. Granted, like I have been talking way too much crap. I'm gonna own that, but like I'm coming up with all these strategies, and George is taking this giant like caveman and walking up field and just clubbing my poor Tyranny.
Chris is like a bug. I'm imagining a bug with like a monocle and like pen and paper and shit. I'm just coming over and like stepping on him.
It hurts, but like so much of your army, just like because they are so singular in purpose, there's so much synergy. Even like outside of their mechanics, it's like, oh, like who has this unit's back? This other unit that does something similar. Like,
Yes. Yeah, we got to see Laugh in the Face of Death, another stratagem I didn't have before, where because Chris was negatively modifying my leadership, just because of that gave me access to a CP that gave me reroll hits. I'm like, oh, you made me -1 leadership? Well, cool, 1 CP, I reroll all my hits now, take that.
Yeah, I hit him with the horror, which specifically is -1 leadership and -1 to hit on his wolf. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna mitigate some of their damage. Mm-hmm. And then George is like, I have this stratagem. I was like, oh, wow.
Yep, we can make, and now like I didn't even use this on Murderfang yet, but we have the Duty Eternal that's not FAQ'd, where we can reduce all damage by half.
You really didn't even need it.
Never needed it.
Like,
never needed it.
I don't even think I like put a scratch into Murderfang.
I always used it on Ragnar, who was fun to attack with, but wasn't like, I mean, I'd honestly rather fight with Murderfang usually more than Ragnar, but he does get an absurd amount of attacks. But you can pop the Touch of the Wild and give him additional attacks on 4+, even more. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been cool just gaming with George because like living approximately 7 hours away now. We haven't had a chance to roll dice, but like,
yeah,
dude, like the viciousness. Honestly, your chaos list is like I haven't got a chance to play against that list with you at the helm of it ever, as of yet.
Yeah.
And like I was aware that it was a list that was like very, very good. I mean, it has all of the really popular bells and whistles, the Possessed Bomb, the Obliterators, the Alpha Legion stuff. But while I was expecting to, in general, be more afraid of the Chaos list, just because of what tools I have at my disposal in the Tyranid lists that I was building, honestly, the Space Wolves terrify me that much more.
The cool thing, unlike the Obliterators and the Chaos list, I do take pride in the Space Wolf list being no guns. And when I say no guns, never paying a point to upgrade the guns. And I put my fist up to James there because I know he's a similar player in that regard. It's fun to leave the guns at home and win anyways. I haven't got to face the Marines yet, or I want to go against now, even though I don't, because I feel like I'm going to go back to my hole and be like, oh yeah, I guess there's still ways to lose a lot of ways. But like I want to fight against Tau and Imperial Guard and just have like that amount of. I remember back when the horrors spam, when I used to be like, dude, if you just bring nothing but horrors, you just can't lose. But then I remember there being like those lists of Imperial Guard with like all the tank commanders, or you go against the redonkulous Tau list.
The parking lot.
And they will pick your shit up,
Oh, yeah.
There is definitely enough shooting out there to pick those Thunderwolf Cav up. And they take 2 turns to get there. They do. It's just about can the drop pods do enough annoyance and get in the way, or can the Wolfen like if they kill all the drop? Usually, if they kill all the Thunderwolf Cav, then it's all up to like the Wolfen after that or whatever, and somebody's gonna get there, kind of deal.
I mean, I can tell you just from like a mutual friend, like was it the first time we went to Adepticon, I think, where Kevin Leonard was at the house and we were playing just some pickup games before Adepticon. Dude, his Emperor's Wrath, like the what is it, the Imperial Guard Astra Militarum tank detachment special thing?
Yeah.
That thing put the fear of God into my list. Honestly,
yeah.
After that, I was just like, dude, like I'm so terrified to run Gene Stealers ever, because it's like that thing is just like, oh look, Gene's dead. Like,
yeah, I've definitely have not had enough experience in my life in my 40K times of going against Imperial Guard like on repeat and going against Tau. I would like to say I've fought them a lot more. I've been way more up against my opponent-wise Xenos. I would say I've fought Necrons, Tyranids, probably more than anything else. Yeah.
I mean, so at the Major, for example, recently I came up against, I brought 140 Alkalite hybrid list for Gene Stealer cult, like no Tyranids. And second game in a row, I got kind of gambly with what I have on the table before my reserves come in. And for the second game, I would have been tabled before my reserves came in if I didn't Agents of Vect one of the Imperial Guard things from shooting twice. Because literally I was just like, oh, wow, like you were just nuking all of my minimal board presence like it's nothing.
Yeah. Let's do around the horn here of the least army you've ever played. Like, what army have you played the least? We'll keep going a few times, maybe. James, first, what's the army you played the least?
Man, I don't even know. What have I played the least?
My first thing comes to my mind is like I have not played against Sisters of Battle, but like once maybe.
I've got like 4 sisters.
There's a local player that's a top Sisters of Battle player, so like I've played him many times.
Oh yeah. Let's get the chat involved too. We can kind of group messages.
Yeah.
Aaron Lane says Yanari hasn't played them very much. I have played Yanari a lot, so I also count the ones that I've played as ones I've gone against, kind of thing.
Are we limiting this to 8th edition?
Yeah, I'd say 8th edition models on the table. Like, I mean, you could go back to 7th if you need to, but I think there's quite a few I've faced very little in 8th. Yeah, Sheldon's never played Sisters.
Myself, I'm yet to play ever since 8th edition has started against White Scars, and there's 1 or 2 builds that they have currently that are really, really good.
Okay, I have not played the new White Scars, but I have played other White Scars.
I would say White Scars are extremely rare, and that's why I thought we'd have to go around the horn a few times. Because I mean, you could start getting into sub-factions of Eldar and stuff. We won't go too crazy there with like Sam Hain and all that bullshit.
Yeah, certainly.
But let's just say, cool. So we've all had our share of some Eldar. We've all had our share of some Marines. Even though I agree, White Scars are thin. I probably fought Grey Knights only like twice ever, 2 or 3 times maybe.
Same here, and that's still for me in this edition more than White Scars, just by chance.
Both times that I played Sisters and Grey Knights, the weird oddball times, has been at Nova or some other major event, never locally.
Dude, I've never played Dark Mechanicum.
Really?
Ever.
Yeah, I can't say either. I've only gone against AdMech like twice. They were definitely low on my list of what I played against. I've played a lot of Tau. I haven't fought a lot of Tau, but more so than the other ones I just named off for sure.
Another rare one is Orcs. I mean, I might see an Orc player at a tournament, and it's rare I get that roll off.
I agree. Yep. Remember when we did 4-man teams at Adepticon 2 years ago and we went against the Orc boys at the very end?
The squad Orcs.
That was totally rare. Yeah, me, Matt, Simon, James, and Chris were all on a 4-man team at my first Adepticon, me and Chris's first Adepticon. And it was awesome. We had a great time. But we went against a double. It was 4. Here we are, 4 different players with 4 different factions. And then we go against one of the few out of the whole bunch of teams that was pure Orcs, and they just brought a fuck ton of boys.
They were cool guys.
Yeah, they had a game plan. They had like buckets of dice ready to go, right? They knew what was up. They did work. They totally I thought we had the sauce. We had the cheese, and people weren't really breaking us all day. We were kind of leading the issue of each game, kind of being the antagonist.
No, we got ripped apart against them.
Not in that game. That game was like, no.
They would just like charge and be like, "Oh, you did how many? Okay, well, yeah, you killed what you charged."
Yeah, we tried to Hodor them, and we didn't get past the hoe.
They were cool guys, though.
They were great guys. Oh, I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved it. But yeah, that was definitely a rare one, and I remember being ultra surprised by how fucking powerful that was, and just due to the lack of experience,
I was just like, there's so many.
Yeah, and I even owned orcs. I just didn't ever run that many boys.
Yeah.
It was because you really couldn't have done what they did without having that many hands on deck. They were a singular mind in what they were going to do, and they were organized in how they had their dice ready and shit. It was good.
Damn fungus among us over there.
I love me some teams though, and that's one of the things. There was some talk in the chat today, worried about Nova Open. I know that we're signed up for 5-man teams for Warp Charge Gaming with old Mike, our good buddy Mike Vandusky, and who knows, man? I mean, it seems like time keeps getting pushed back. Like, how long are we going to be in this crazy warp?
Well, the state of Michigan pushed back till May 26th is their stay-at-home order.
Well, we're already June 10 around here, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're already June 10 up in the Virginia area, so I'm like, okay, you guys you'll catch up eventually.
Oh, wow.
Has Arkansas finally actually cared about their people? I know we talked shit about them a while ago.
My current state's in the bottom 10 for responses, and as of yesterday, they expanded it another 2 weeks before we are possibly supposed to get back to work. And it's like, I think you're just going to expand it some more, if I'm honest. But
it sounds like Tennessee's pretty optimistic there, Chris.
they're pretty optimistic, but you know what? It's okay. Like I like the fact that they think there's a glass that's not shattered into 1,000 little pieces.
Dude, one of my favorite things about all this is how these states are building coalitions. Like you have the West Coast, the 3 states, and then today the Midwest to claim their 6 states. I love it.
Nice.
Destroy the economy. There won't be a civil war. Just everyone will recede into their own coalitions.
James, and I can't see your beautiful face. You're multitasking.
No, I was just so depressed. I didn't want anyone to see my sad face.
Oh,
it's here.
There he is.
But
don't look depressed, buddy.
I was legit sad, bro. Like a tear almost rolled down my face of how sad I am that I don't have all the cool toys.
Did you hear how I so enthusiastically told you about it though?
A single crimson droplet.
That has made it so much worse. I'm just being honest. The more enthusiastic you got, the more I wish I could just punch you in the face. So it's a good thing we are on the internet.
Kevin's like, I'm legit sad, bro. Oh, dude, but it's all love, man. I thought you'd be so happy to hear about all these cool things. No guns, James. No guns.
Hey, honestly, if I wasn't on a 3-game losing streak by embarrassing fashion, I probably would be right there with you. But no, I'm now reminded that I'm just going to continue being handed, and now probably handed by other close combat armies. So yeah, I'm real sad.
Dude, okay, James.
I'm just going to continue painting Blood Bowl, guys.
There you go. James, we need to encapsulate this feeling into a shirt, okay?
Oh, no, bro.
Something
I don't even want to work
like,
on anything like this. You got to get someone else to do this.
Yeah, something that talk about like Space Wolves practically being, where's Corn at kind of thing. I don't know. Dream with me here.
If it makes you feel any better, man, I literally told George that every time he beats me, I'm going to play one of his other games.
Dude, I almost want to play George right now with those fucking wolves. And if I beat him, I'm just going to laugh in his face.
Oh, please try. My confidence is at the millionth degree. I would love to get my ass kicked right now.
He needs it. I'm
feeling pretty confident right now, I must say.
George,
I do not
find my models and build my list, and I will walk into the game and pilot it.
All right, you send me your list, dude. I will make it for you, and we'll do it. Yeah. All right, you heard it, guys. You're gonna see some content where James is gonna go against the Space Wolves with the goal of shoving it down my throat for being, and him being the better player. That would be awesome, James. I would love that. Let's do it. We will do it.
Yeah, I suppose you can watch me lose in a terrible, terrible fashion.
Well, I want to see you go as deep as possible into this hole. Just so that we can pull you out again, and it'll be that much greater.
Just remember, you can always virtually flip the table because I definitely did that on my turn too. It's like this is bullshit.
Ooh, I can't wait. James, I love you, buddy. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know what's cool? You know what's cool about tabletop though, James, is you can play Space Wolves.
Nope, I don't want to play the army. Fuck that heresy. That's ridiculous.
Woo! Oh, it's good. Oh, Zapno says, shave your head like the rest of us and you'll feel lighter.
Fuck that shit, too. There's fucking horrible ideas out there, man. This is how I get dumber. I spend my time around
shave your
people
head.
like that.
I think it's cool. Yo.
No, these are my fucking nails, bro. These are my nails.
That's cool. That's cool.
Butcher's nails, man.
Well, have you guys been up to anything different than normal with your new lifestyle? Have any new projects you're picking up or hobbies you're getting into?
Honestly, a lot less when you have a 5-year-old at home.
Oh,
and you can't take them anywhere. So
apparently that's a pain in the ass.
You have to be the entertainment.
Right.
And like it started to get nice out, and we got a trampoline, and then it started snowing.
Oh Jesus!
So I don't know what to say, bro.
God damn, James. God hates Illinois. That's all.
Dude. The greatest thing is I have very beautiful flowers that make me happy.
Yeah, that's fair.
No wonder you guys have such a high per capita drinking out there with the weather and shit.
Oh, dude, it's great, bro. I can definitely still get drunk. And what's great is like the second closest bar to my house, because there's one in my neighborhood, but right outside the neighborhood, a buddy of mine owns. So like, even though all bars are canceled, I can still go get a drink if I wanted to.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's dope. The most interesting thing we've done lately in this house is we've started doing like cultures to bake bread, like sourdough and shit like that. So we're like cooking here.
Okay, getting into some bread technology, a little bread science.
Damn right. Got some yeast cultures. We're growing some garlic and some peppers and tomatoes and squash.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of baited that combo there because I myself have also been getting into some new things. I was up till 5:30 in the morning last night, and I do stay up late pretty often. I did just drink coffee, 2 cups of coffee between 8 and 9 right now. So I'm pretty hype. But guys, I have decided to learn how to make sushi, and I'm going to be a sushi wizard. That's going to be I might even do a content. I might make a little bit of content around it. The sushi wizard, James. I need me some art. I need a sushi wizard. I got this hat, and I need a cape, and I'm gonna probably get like a fucking pendant and shit, and I'm gonna butcher a bunch of Japanese words when I go try to get ingredients and stuff. It's gonna be great. But no, so do you think it sounds crazy? I hate cooking, so.
I love cooking. James sent you his list.
Oh, okay, James, I got your list. I'm definitely gonna make it. In Tabletop Simulator, we're definitely gonna fight. I hate to cook, guys, and I'm terrible about it. I quit cigarettes since quarantine started, and I'm about 40 days in. And due to that, my mind's chemical changes. I'm a little crazy. And yeah, I decided, kind of just like with cigarettes, I was like, I'm going to take control. I'm tired of being a slave to the fucking Sigmar kind of thing. Well, I was like, hey, I'm tired of spending money on food I don't give a shit about. I love sushi. Why the hell do I only eat it twice a year? Kind of like I feel like a special snowflake that deserves to get to play games every day of his life. I feel like I should eat sushi every day.
I can support that.
Right? I'm like, if I'm going to eat food, why the fuck am I not eating my favorite food? Live your best life, right?
I'm about it.
Right? So I said, fine, I'm going to do this shit. And then when I started to look into it, because I don't like to turn on the stove, I don't want to cook anything, but I'm not opposed to chopping some shit. And a rice cooker, I got one of those things. You just throw it in there and it's fucking done. So I've been studying the shit out of sushi, dude. Okay? I learned all about the origins of rice and where you get your best rice and the premium small grain Japanese shit and all that stuff, man. And it has been a good ass time. Thank you for quitting the cigarettes, but yo, I'm getting ready to be a sushi master, okay? I did all kinds of shopping last night. I got a fucking sushi spreadsheet. You saw my Space Wolf spreadsheet? Wait till you see the sushi spreadsheet, dude.
Oh my.
That's right. That's right. I got it broken down on what are the 2 top grains of rice from America and from Japan, and fucking, comes out of California around here, And then even the mid-grade type, and when you should fucking skimp, and like where, Anyways, I got it down to $2.08 a sushi roll. Okay? I ordered today to test it out. We got some sushi delivered. Like, all right, this is the last time we're fucking ordering sushi, and I got an avocado roll for $7. Right? I'm planning to make a lot of vegetarian sushi. I'm starting to get passionate, guys. I'm gonna try not to rant too hard here, but I got my fucking sushi down to $2.08 a roll, which for $75, guys, that's like fucking 36 rolls of sushi. Okay? And that's a lot if you should pay $7 a roll. I am excited and I can't wait. All right, I'm done.
Bro, you need to relax a little bit.
No, my face is getting red. I'm like,
but I've
from all
also
the sushi.
been just as passionate about making gummies.
Gummies?
Oh man.
Yeah, gummy candies, bro. It's really fun to get them at the perfect consistency.
You gotta be careful with the fucking no sugar gummies, though, right? Like that shit fucked me up once. You know what I'm talking about? Talking about the gummy bears with like the sugar free.
Oh, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
bro.
don't mess up, man. Don't
get
mess
out of my life.
Don't mess up.
No, I'm staying fat kid forever.
Michael's talking about CBD gummies. I'm actually thinking about some CBD in my life, actually.
Dude, I recommend CBD to everybody. I mean, that was one of my previous lives when 2014, when the Farm Bill passed. I decided to uproot my life, quit my $90,000 a year job, and move out to the West Coast, start a CBD company. I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah. I haven't actually ever tried it, but I definitely am a pretty anxious person. I don't know if you can tell if I'm a little high strung, but zing zang. Sometimes I was thinking about chilling a little bit by taking a little CBD and seeing how much that makes me relax and enjoy myself. I was watching Seth Rogen last night talking to James Maynard Keenan. James Maynard Keenan from Tool. It was a cool hangout sesh, but they were talking about CBD. Maynard doesn't like chemical compounds that make you feel certain ways, even though he fucking farms wine and shit. But I don't know. It was cool to hear Seth Rogen be like, yo.
Seth Rogen? You mean Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan, not Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen's what, the comedian dude or what? Ooh, that's another dude.
Comedic actor.
I don't know these people. I'm not cultured, guys. I'm trying to make sushi. I'm a sushi wizard that doesn't fucking have any culture, dude. I butcher every fucking name I try to say for these different Japanese words. So anyway, Seth Rogen, Joe Rogan, whoever the hell that guy is, he was talking about that. He was like, it's like, yeah, we're all kind of fucked. It feels like we're gonna die. Or like, but like when I'm on CBD oil, like it's like, well, we're not dead yet, and I like that perspective.
Wow.
That was like very like intense to like.
I'm just keeping it real recognized. This is episode 98. What the fuck time is it? 10 o'clock? We came to an end, boys. Wow. All right. Is there anything else to talk about? I love our audience. We didn't talk to them very much. They talked to us.
So this weekend we're gonna see that tease of, I don't know. We don't know what it is yet. But something's coming this weekend, the 18th. Keep your eyes open. It's what we would have seen at Adepticon. God rest its soul.
I like Michael McKeague out there suggesting putting CBD on the sushi. And that's my man right there. That's a man thinking innovation. MSG and CBD, perfect coupling. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
James, I don't know if that was James feeling tonight, guys. He's like, George, you are fucking out there, dog. Well, I'm going to make your list ready, James. I'm going to make your list ready to fight back to it. And we're going to make it in Tabletop Simulator. We're going to have a showdown. And hopefully, I think what I'll do is figure out how to lose that doesn't look like it's on purpose so that we can make you feel better, buddy.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. I should have told you
that. Wow.
All right. All right, we'll be fine.
Wow.
We're gonna have a fair, legit game, and I will try very hard.
Wow.
Thomas said,
What happened to this episode, man?
I don't know. It got really, really derailed. I think.
Is it because it's April 20th or something?
Is that what day it is? No, it's not.
It is April, and it is the year 20.
Oh, it's
Oh,
fucking
man.
the 16th.
That's
But
bad
it is
as shit,
16th.
man.
Monday is the 20th of
It's on-
April.
I like Bicycle Day a lot too.
I was just saying the year is April, and it is the 20th of 2000.
Yeah, I like Bicycle Day a lot. You know what happened in this episode is the second cup of coffee really started to kick in, and we talked about sushi, and that's what happened. So it's been great. It's been great, and it seems like the chat's having a good time out there. And that
All
rules.
month long. I know. It's been a great month.
Yeah, it's been-
I have increased the saturation of my endocannabinoid system daily throughout this month.
My
that was-
God, what a ramp up.
yeah, that was a fancy combination of words too.
Hey, I'm just keeping it real.
That's super cool, man. Yeah, I would suggest people try to make the best out of their lives and try
James
not,
Sheets!
yeah, try not to die and stuff. Good to see everybody. CBD oil and sushi are your friends. You guys
Yes,
keep
I
taking
agree.
fun seriously. Come check us out on Twitch and hang out with us for some battle reports. Watch the
Dude,
big
keep the
showdown.
likes coming. Appreciate it.
Yeah, everybody rules. I'm really glad people came and hung out with us. I'm glad we have friends, guys. Okay, see you guys later.
Peace out. Much
Yep.
love.
Yep.
Keep taking fun seriously.